The Heritage Foundation's Luke Coffey joins me now from Washington. Luke, Turkey has good relations with both Ukraine and Russia and also is a NATO member. How delicate of a balance is this for Turkey to try to mediate this crisis?
Well, President Erdogan and Turkey has been a strong supporter of Ukraine's territorial integrity from the very beginning of this crisis back in 2014. Let's not forget, when we talk about Russia invading Ukraine, Russia has already invaded Ukraine, and they're threatening to invade even further today. And also on important issues such as the persecution of the Crimean Tatars under the Russian occupation, Turkey once again has been a very vocal critic of Moscow and Russia's behavior. But on the other hand, President Erdogan and President Putin have been able to pursue a pragmatic relationship based on mutual interests when that allows. And I think President Erdogan really made the key point today is that he doesn't want to have two neighboring Black Sea countries possibly breaking out in major warfare. And I think he sees himself as doing Turkey's part in trying to bring some sort of resolution to this conflict.
I want to ask you about this report out of the U.S. that says Russia is working on a false flag operation to use as a pretext to invade Ukraine. What's the strategy here in publicizing that?
Well, I think the strategy from the White House is trying to get ahead of Russia's actions to try to limit or constrain what Russia can or cannot do in terms of the timing of its further military action against Ukraine. This is similar to what we saw from the United Kingdom about a week or so ago, whenever the British government said they had evidence that Russia was going to stage or back some sort of coup and power takeover from President Zelensky in Ukraine. And it's no secret that Russia has made an Olympic sport out of misinformation in recent years, whether it's in the cyberspace or through media, especially as it pertains to COVID-19, for example, and vaccine usage in the United States and in the West. Russia has a track record of this, and it's no surprise that they would do something similar as a pretext to launch further military aggression against Ukraine.
Luke, Moscow, as we know, has asked for a number of security guarantees from the European Union, which it won't get. And the EU chief says the members are working on a joint response to show unity against Russia's aggression. Where do efforts for diplomacy go from here? And what's the breaking point?
Well, it's difficult to say what the breaking point is because President Putin has shown a willingness to push the envelope just more and more to see how much he can get away with. And he hasn't really left himself an off ramp. He's made demands and he's asked for concessions from the United States and from NATO and from European countries that he must know the US and NATO simply cannot give. The idea that we would close the door of NATO membership to new countries like Ukraine is inconceivable. The idea that NATO countries would not deploy troops to defend other NATO countries is inconceivable, and he must know this. So it makes me think that he's either using this, what will ultimately be a breakdown of negotiations, as an excuse for further military action, or he's hoping that he just keeps landing these high-level one-on-one meetings with the U.S. president, with the Secretary General of NATO, because when Putin meets with the U.S. president, that makes him look powerful and it makes him look important in front of his own people. And this in itself is a victory in his eyes for Russia.
All right, we'll leave it there. Luke Coffey joining us from Washington. Thank you.